Hello and welcome. Today's episode is going to be a little different. It is a snippet from my monthly Ask Me Anything office hours. In this episode, I will be coaching Danny. She is a social media management expert, and she's been feeling a little wobbly lately. With so much changing in the social media space, should she keep doing what she's doing? And in this episode, I coach her through to better understand what she should be focused on next. So I really hope you enjoy this episode, and let's get into it. Hello, Danny.
Hi.
Okay. So I have your question as you want help finding your purpose in social media management business when social media has become such an overwhelmingly loud space. I feel my passion for social media slowly slipping as more and more chaos enters the online platform, finding myself burnout, distracted, and overwhelmed as you try to grow your business. That still sound where you're at?
Yeah. I would say for the most part, yeah, it's just like it's a lot. I just feel like, especially with AI and everything, is
Mhm.
I feel like I'm in competition with robots and
Yeah.
at times. Yeah, it's definitely like a very challenging, ever-changing industry, and it's a lot.
Mhm. How long have you been doing it?
Officially since like 2023 is when I kind of went on my own and decided to just freelance full time. So I would say that's like my official kind of start date. I've been doing social media management for like employers on and off since
Mhm.
like 2012-ish.
Okay.
But like yeah, 2023 is when I went full time.
Okay. So yeah, it's you're not exactly new to it, but it is definitely changing.
Yeah.
Um, do you envision your like if everything was how it was, 3 years ago when you started, would you still want to be doing this, or do you feel like you're just not your heart's not just in it as much anymore in general?
I feel like I kind of go through waves of feelings with social media. Like I feel like I'm in better spirits with it now. I recently joined like a 12-month mastermind program with other social media managers. And I feel like mentally that kind of like shifted something that I feel like there's like support, which
Mm,
is nice because I don't know a lot of social media managers in person.
sure.
And that was just kind of like I've joined maybe like a week and a half ago. So that's very, very new. After I submitted the question.
Yeah.
But there's still kind of like moments of just overwhelm and just not there's always like that insecurity of like, oh, like I hope I'm doing like the best job I possibly can for my clients, like the fear of are they gonna like fire me because I'm not, the expectations that some clients have is obviously they want like sales from
Mhm.
social media
Sure.
um and I feel like I'm pretty clear with like what the expectations are. Like of course that is always like the end goal, the bottom line, but there are, my focus is more like growing the community, getting the content seen, getting people to talk about the brand and the business. Like there's other metrics that I kind of like track and find, see as success versus like, oh, we've been, all our sales are coming from social media because that's really not like 100% of what it is.
Sure. 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 Um, yeah, I know this is a tricky one because client expectations are always hard, but when I was
Mhm.
looking at your human design, it's very much you need to be focused on like what actually really excites you.
Mhm.
So paying attention to like if there's any part of your business or like just the work you do with clients that's draining you, not really like you're
Mhm.
going into it feeling a little, apprehensive or just not fully in it, that would be something to look at. Maybe
Mhm.
there's some adjustments or also just paying attention to like maybe there's been a little voice inside of you saying maybe go a different direction and you've been a little
Mhm.
apprehensive, but like really pay attention to what your gut's telling you is
Yeah.
is super helpful. Is there anything that comes up right away that you've on either end, like really more draining you or like
Uh, I mean, there's definitely been like times when I question, like, is this what I want to be doing? Just
Mhm.
because there's so many moving parts to being a social media manager. And I
Sure.
feel like it's, a lot of it has to do just with like being still at the beginning stages of my business because I know it takes time and I
Sure.
think, okay, like when I get to like a certain point, like financially, when I can maybe outsource certain things and I can focus on other parts of the business. But like right now, I have to do everything myself. Because I don't necessarily enjoy like, let's for example, like doing the engagement, for a client, and like that's just like a big time suck for me. And I just like
Sure.
I don't care for the strategy that has to be applied for engagement. I mean, and I do it because it's necessary. It's a very important
Mhm.
part, but it's, I find myself more, excited when I'm looking at like the analytics, and then I see like what's working, what's not, and then putting together plans, and the strategy side of it. Like I like that.
Mhm.
Um, so I do see like one day maybe like kind of shifting towards doing more of strategy and consulting versus
Mm.
the actual like management. What if that looks like I don't offer like hands-on management anymore and I just offer strategy, or I just am at a place where I can outsource like the scheduling, the engagement, some of the content creation, and I just
Mhm.
focus on like the strategy side. Um, yeah, I've had a lot of wheels turning the last like week or so.
Mhm.
Um, and like I said in the beginning, like there's a lot of waves, of like I'm
Yes.
excited, I'm motivated, I'm just
Yeah.
like yeah, and then I just kind of have dips where I'm just kind of like, oh my gosh, what am I doing with my life? Like this is terrible. I hate it.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to work ever again.
Yes. No. Yeah.
So it's just like it's all over the board sometimes.
Yeah. No, I totally get that. So you have an emotional wave. I have this too in how I'm
Yeah.
designed. That you got to ride the wave.
Mhm.
Don't be making decisions when you're in those highs or lows. But that's just kind of part of, I think, figuring it out because so much of
Mhm.
business is experimentation and
Yeah.
just trying stuff, not attaching to the outcome, I think is the biggest thing I think would really help you too.
Yeah.
A lot on what I see on your chart is following what you're passionate about.
Mhm.
And like specifically, a lot of your purpose revolves around sharing your wisdom, but also kind of being that bridge.
Mhm.
So it kind of makes sense. Like I could see you being that bridge between not necessarily like doing the work,
Mhm.
the hands-on, like posting for them, but like
Yeah.
actually doing the strategy side of it, I think is kind of more your genius of, you come up with the ideas and the structure for them. Because I think the more that you bring into your passion, what you're actually like wanting to do,
Mhm.
it's going to attract the right people. Because I think from your design, a little more what you're saying is you create the plan, you clarify the plan for them, but then it sounds like the part of actually executing and the management of the day to day is what's draining.
That's so fun. I literally just
Yeah,
wrote planning in my
yeah,
notes, like, right before you
yeah.
said that. I'm a generator, right? Is that
Yes. Yeah.
okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, because that is, and that's the thing, it's like what and it has a lot to do with, like, my anxiety too,
Mhm.
is I just get so overwhelmed in thought that then it kinda blows up and I'm like, what even is my
Yeah.
purpose? Like, what am I even passionate about?
Yeah.
And then it kind of crumbles down to like I'm not passionate about anything, but I know I am at the end
Mhm.
of the day. And I do love planning. Like I love making like my Google Calendar, planning out
Yeah.
my week, planning out my day. I like putting together like my PDFs for like my services. Like I like creating and putting together things,
Okay.
and but the
Yeah.
things that I've run into in the past is I don't I put everything to or like a chore cleaning chart or like a house management plan. Like I'm always planning with like my
Mhm.
planner, my calendar, all the things, and execution always is always like the hardest part for me. But
Yeah.
a, I'm really good at like putting the plan together and like
Yeah.
getting a clear picture. It's just like the follow through is I kind of have like this block that I just have a hard time like getting through that.
Yeah. I think there's a few things that I'm seeing. So, two things. What people are attracted to you for is you can conceptualize these plans for them.
Mhm.
But then also, it's if that's really what you love doing and what you're more
Mhm.
passionate about, it's like really allowing yourself to lean into that. How could that look? Um, and I think that could go a lot of different ways, but
Mhm.
like really allowing yourself figuring out an offer where just kind of play with it. Like I love like
Yeah.
beta testing. Like
Uh,
you could say like, hey, for half price or something, could we try this out and being more of focused on just the planning? And maybe you give them the entire plan and then sometimes
yeah.
that's the biggest thing. Like I think about if I didn't have to plan it all and I just got like this is exactly what you need to do each day,
Mhm.
how much easier that be for me to execute.
Yeah, and that is a new service that I'm trying to kind of like, I'm wanting to like explore is like the consult, like I'm calling it consulting, but really it's,
Yeah.
like meeting with a client, on a monthly basis. And they could do this as like a one-off, or they could
Mhm.
do it, like as a retainer.
Yeah.
Um, but like meeting with the client, just kind of getting like an idea of like what their goal is for the business,
Mhm.
and giving them that blueprint of like, okay, like according to like the analytics that I kind of reviewed, the content that you've been posting, like this is what's working, this is what isn't working, let's do more of this.
Yeah.
Just kind of giving them like the outline of what they should be doing for that month.
Mhm. Yeah.
um, and just basically just kind of giving them the strategy, because there, some people are just not quite ready to like hire on a full-time social media manager.
Mhm.
Some people have somebody in house to do it for them, or they just
Sure.
want to do it themselves because they still want to have control over like what they're putting on
Mhm.
stories and things like that.
Yeah.
They just need like the hand holding or the guidance to like, okay, what should I be doing so it's effective?
Yeah.
And that's kind of like a new thing that I've been wanting to kind of explore. I
Mhm.
haven't uh acquired any clients with that yet, because this is still like a very like, since I
Sure.
kind of came up with this like in the new year. Um, but it is something that I want to like play around with, because I want to see if that's maybe more of what I'm meant to be doing.
Mhm. It's more of you coming up with the ideas for them and execute, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. One thing, because 'cause you've mentioned a little bit the overwhelm. The one thing
Uh-huh.
about your capacity is it does have a lot to do with your emotions, but it's more of like those emotions are telling you things. It's bringing that awareness, and whatever the emotion's coming up is gonna be kinda like your edge. So paying attention to what the emotion's telling you without latching on to
Mhm.
getting engulfed in or creating meaning around it, and
Mhm.
just trusting, like, "It's just experiment, it's just telling me
Yeah.
something." So I think a lot of I mean, I get it. There's a lot changing just in the
Yeah.
past, just since January this year, and
Mhm.
um, not necessarily attaching to like, I got to fix everything. Just if you already kind of have this idea, just play with it. And again,
Yeah.
I think it's great just starting to talk to people about it. Maybe not clients directly, but you know, if you go networking, bring it up with a few people and kind of get a feel for what they think about it. Or if you have some trusted people, bring it up to them to have something to respond to, because that's really important as a generator is responding to something. So like you
Mhm.
can have this idea, but you need a little more to respond to actually execute it. So if you get feedback
Yeah.
from people like, oh, I really need this, that's enough for you to like take off with it. So don't try to force it. Like let it naturally
Yeah.
bubble up.
Yeah. Yeah, I've started talking about it in my networking group that I have. I go to a weekly networking group, and I did get some like really positive like uh response, like, oh,
Mhm.
like that's actually like, a pretty good idea, like,
Yeah.
one of my team members, like they were, possibly interested in like having me help them out with like strategy.
Mhm.
But we're still like kind of talking about it. And then another one, like we do have like one-on-ones, on occasion. And she says that this could be something that she might want to do as she's kind of getting more into her social media. So I feel like there is
Yeah.
a need, especially with small
Yeah.
business owners.
Sure.
Just kind of a lot of them are just kind of getting started in social media, and they just
Mhm.
kind of need a little bit of guidance. I feel like there is kind of like a need for this kind of like consulting.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I do agree with what you say, and kind of like taking it lightly, just like taking it just slow, and
Mhm.
keep talking about it, and all that, because I tend to get ahead of myself,
Mhm.
and then I immediately kind of go to like, like with everything else, I think about it, I overthink, and then I'm just like, oh, it's not gonna work.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And then I just do too much.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that's that's part of the generator too. You have a lot. You have the energy to do a lot, but
Oh my gosh, it literally physically drains me. Like,
yeah.
I tell my husband, I'm just like, "I'm so tired." He's like, "Well, like, do you wanna go take a nap?" I'm like, "No, no, no, it's not that kind of tired.
Yeah.
It's all the things and the thoughts in my mind,
Mhm.
not just like work and business and clients. It's like everything else, I'm a
Mhm.
mom, I'm a wife,
Yeah.
Living in the area that we live in, it's expensive.
Yep.
It's everything.
Yeah.
You know, I'm thinking about everything and all of it at once.
Yes. Yes. I'm a generator too, so I very much relate to that.
Oh my goodness.
It really does help to like brain dump. I do this like
Mhm.
voice note or even
Yeah.
just like journaling. It helps a lot just to get it out and not necessarily like to forget about it, but sometimes you just once it's out, it's like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm good.
I need to try that. I've tried journaling many times. My hand gets
Yeah.
so tired, and that's I
Mhm.
feel like that's like a big reason why I don't continue because my hand just gets because I literally grip the pen so hard because
Oh,
I'm just
yeah.
writing so much and so fast.
Yeah.
I thought about maybe like doing like a typing journal, but like I like the idea of writing.
Mhm.
Uh, but yeah, maybe that should be something that I kind of circle back to because I've had a few people tell me that it would be good to kind of just get all those thoughts out.
Yeah. Like, and I found a voice to text helps a lot, so I could just verbally say it or just voice note because I don't know
Mhm.
if I ever really look back. I don't think I've ever looked back on things, but you could just delete it afterwards. But like just using your voice is sometimes easier, just like especially in the moment. Like
Uh-huh.
just let it out if you don't have a ton of time to actually get the journal out and do all that.
That's a
It
good
just it
idea.
yeah, it helps a lot just to get it out of your head because we're capable of a lot, but we cannot physically do it all.
Right? It's the internal struggle, it's the battle.
Yes, exactly.
Oh man. Yeah. It's it's interesting. Yeah, I've the whole like the human design thing, I had met this woman, she actually like does like consulting for my sister, like my sister where my sister works. They do like team meetings and stuff like that, and individual. And her thing is like human design. And I had like a session with her, and I had known that I was like a generator, but it's interesting like how like the personality types like
Mhm.
there's just it says so much, which is so interesting.
Yeah,
Like,
you kinda know, but it's nice to hear it and, like, get that, little bit
right?
reassurance. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. And again, like if you don't mind reminding me, like what are like the main qualities of like a generator?
So, endless energy, that's you do
Mhm.
have it as long as you're doing things you're, like, excited about. So, like, I can
Mhm.
kinda tell with, like, your business, if it's not exciting you as much, it's gonna drain you really quickly.
Yeah.
Or if you're saying yes to things that you really rather not, you'd rather
Mhm.
say no, it's gonna drain you 10 times quicker
Mhm.
because you are capable of doing it, but if the energy isn't there to do it, you're gonna be exhausted.
Yeah.
So really paying attention to your energy is a big one.
Mhm.
Um, for you, it's two layered on like making decisions. So like you need to listen to your gut. That's always going to guide you. And it's sometimes just like, mm-hmm, mm-mm, just like making sounds or like leaning
Yeah.
forward, like leaning back tells you a lot. But you also have the emotional authority. So you need to pay attention to your emotions when you're making
Mhm.
decisions. Make sure they're not super high or super low. You need to, it's usually best to say, like, give me an hour to think about that. Could I tell you tomorrow, next week? Give yourself time to really feel into what you actually want. Because your gut's usually right, but you just want to make sure it's coming from a grounded place.
Yeah.
Um, and then also the response on generators. You need to make sure that you're responding to something because you could come up with a bunch of ideas.
Mhm.
Um, but if it's coming from a place of like, this is what I should be doing, and you execute on it just because you think you're supposed to, it's going
Yeah.
to you too. It's going to you will get some success and maybe you'll be very successful, but they're going to be a little resentment. You'll be tired all the time. So it's best to actually respond to something. A client says something, you're like, ooh, there's an idea. I'll, create an offer for that.
Yeah.
Um, but then also on the response, it's also about responding to just life in general. Like when people ask you questions, it's yes or no questions are the best for you.
Mhm.
Like, where do you want to eat? Is might be way too open ended for you.
Oh, man. Yeah, and then it's like I'll tell my husband, like, you know what, you just pick.
Yeah.
Make sure you pick it's the place that I have in my mind, but I just don't know what that is.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. You want them to like ask you like specific, do you want Chinese,
Mhm.
Mexican, pizza? Then you could say yes or no to each of those. But how are you doing is also some of those like your mind could just go blank. Like, so it's some way it's kind of training people to ask you things in a different way, or asking
Yeah.
some, you ask me that more specifically, and then the answer will come to you, because your mind going blank. I mean, that's the one of the hardest things I've dealt with. It's like, I should know this answer, but like nothing's coming to me.
Uh-huh.
So responding to anything, you need a little more like be specific to actually get like a really solid answer. Um,
Yeah.
and then that'll help your gut kick in, like if it's a yes or a no, or what
Mhm.
direction you want to go. It's really important.
Yeah, that makes a
Yeah.
lot of sense. And that is, yeah, I definitely have been kind of working on my boundaries
Mhm.
with like my energy. Like,
Yeah.
I kind of put on my vision board for the year. I don't know if I did it last year. For sure this year, I put boundaries on there because
Mhm.
I do tend to be a very much yes person. Like I feel like my love
Mhm.
language is acts of service. Um and I just kind of like try to, I wouldn't say I'm a people pleaser, but I do want like happiness and harmony,
Yeah.
like I don't
Yeah.
want
Yeah.
any kind of like negativity in any kind of way. But I have been much better with like boundaries and like my time and my energy, especially with like just having so much going on, like not feeling like I have to say yes to everything. And
Hmm.
I've become very like okay with saying no and, you know, not getting like the FOMO. I used to have a lot of
Yes.
FOMO and
Yeah.
I'm definitely kind of like, I don't know if it's just getting older, probably, but I'm just like, I don't really care anymore. So I have no problem just being like, you know what, like I know everyone's gonna be there, but like I just don't want to go. Like I'm just not,
Yeah.
I'm not into it right now. And that feels really good.
Yeah, that's really important, because kind of the broader picture of human design, there's a lot of types that don't have endless energy, but they see you have endless energy, so they're going to try to take advantage of
Yeah.
you. Paying attention, that's perfect. Like actually
Mhm.
setting those boundaries, but then also just boundaries with yourself. Like if you're actually tired, take the break, go to
Yeah.
bed, take the nap, whatever it is. Also the boundaries with yourself, because there's kind of that conflict. Like, yes, I have energy. No, I don't actually.
Yeah, and boundaries with
Yeah.
my phone too, because
Mm,
like literally my business is my phone and my computer, mostly my
yeah.
phone. And, social media is a very, very loud, chaotic
Mhm.
space. And this is like something that I do like kind of talking to people about because I think it's so important, especially, we know that like the, younger people are, just consumed by social media. And
Yeah.
it can be a very toxic and dangerous place. A lot of people that, I kind of like deal with are, either around my age or they're a little older because they have established businesses, but like they also kind of like fall into the trap of social media. And I feel like having boundaries with that is so important. And I fell victim to that too, because I had like my personal social media account and, like I'm very careful about like who I follow. Like I'd go through like a unfollow phase, like every like couple months, I would just like unfollow a bunch of people but like you just watch one video that's, let's say political,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden my entire feed is like political stuff. I'm like, no, no, no. I want to
Yeah.
see, health and fitness and the things that I'm interested in and cute like
Yeah.
coffee things or whatever. And I literally have to just kind of exit my personal social media page.
Mhm.
And I'll like log into it maybe once a week or so on my desktop to check my DMs because my friends still message me there, but, like, I don't post on there, I don't go on there, I don't scroll there.
Yeah.
I literally I logged off on my phone app from my personal one.
Mhm.
I took off the Instagram app from my home screen, so I had to search for it now. And I just restarted or I just started my business account because I'm like, well, I kinda need to be, like, have, like, a business one,
Yeah.
but it's treated completely different. So, like, and it's people are kind of surprised. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm a social media manager, but I don't really use my own social media."
Mhm.
Um, Kinda like the chef that works all day in the kitchen, goes home and makes a frozen meal, you know? It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
I don't wanna do it. Uh, but yeah, that was like a big thing, like just really detaching from my phone.
yeah. Yeah, so that's really important. The awareness is that's
Mhm.
fantastic, but, I mean, I could almost see, like, helping other people, and, like, part of their plans is, like, helping them, teaching them, and being a generator and sharing your experience is really important, because you have a ton of wisdom just from your experience, so sharing more of that.
Mhm.
It is kind of weird how you're you're not on social media a lot for your personal, but like also
Uh-huh.
just showing people there is a different way to make it sustainable. And I think probably talking about that more too might bring more people in, but like, okay, I can do this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah. 'Cause, yeah,
Yeah.
another part of your design is that you have a lot of wisdom to share. It just sometimes it needs to be pulled out of you. So making sure you're in situations where you could share your wisdom and people could kind of ask you those questions and pull it out.
Mhm.
That's when your genius and really where you thrive is going to be.
Yeah, yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. Oh, man. Yeah. Yeah, it's tricky because, I know that I love what I do. It's
Mhm,
just kind of like one of those I just kind of get upset with it, I guess, because
mhm,
it is, it is a lot, and I feel like that's kinda like where my question kind of like stemmed from. It's just I was probably like when I wrote that question, I was probably like in that place of
mhm.
overwhelm and
Yeah.
frustration. And I am feeling a lot better about it now, especially like joining that mastermind, like I mentioned,
Mhm.
because there's that support and I have questions and very like technical questions. And
Yeah.
it's nice that I can have very direct answers from people that have been doing this for like 7 years.
Sure.
Um, but yeah, it's an interesting industry. There's a lot of
Mhm.
like ways that you can kind of like take it. And I think I'm still kind of, and I'm telling myself that I'm still kind of creating the foundation
Mhm.
and still, it's okay to still be figuring out exactly what I want to do in terms of social media management. I feel like that's what I need to keep reminding myself. Like, it's nothing's like set in stone. And sometimes I feel like I do that to myself. Like things are very final sometimes, or
Mhm.
I make them very final when they don't have to be.
Yes.
Um, and I think that's just kind of what I need to work on.
Yeah, because I don't think you'll ever stop refining. If you
Isn't that
yeah,
what the whole like having a business is? Like you're always kind
yeah,
of evolving.
yeah. So if it like I think coming from that mindset helps a lot because I mean, like, you can make a
Yeah,
decision today, but, like, 2 months from now, things change, and, like, you gotta shift
exactly.
and, like, always refining. I think that kinda makes it a little more fun or keeps you on your toes too,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah. It's kind of like with my workout schedule. Like I put it on my calendar. I never follow it. And then I'm just gonna delete the whole 6 a.m. walk because I don't go on 6 a.m. walks. Sometimes I go at 6 p.m. or at,
Yeah,
8 a.m.
yeah.
Um, yeah, it's like I try a little too hard to be type A sometimes when it's just
Mhm.
not. I'm forcing. I feel like it's a little too forced.
Yeah, so, yeah, it's not responding. That's
Yeah.
where that comes in, yeah, you make sure it's responding from
Listening to my emotions.
yes, if it's not there, don't force it because 'cause you're gonna be miserable.
Yeah, and I do that. I try to force, in terms of like what I feel like I should be doing. I really try to like make it happen, and it's just like it's not a natural thing.
Yeah. Because another way to think about it is you're setting those boundaries. And every time you say no, even if it's like, okay, I don't want to go on this 6 a.m. walk, the more that you say no, then the right opportunities that are going to be like more exciting are going to like, you're going to make space for those.
Uh huh.
So like pay attention to that too. It's like, okay, I'm just going to say no. I'm not feeling it. It doesn't have to be logical. It just, if you're not feeling it, trust it. And then something better is going to come along most likely.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, this is good. I like this. I'm glad. Very cool. It was meant to be.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
it's funny because when I was making some little notes and like a lot of the words that I was kind of like writing down, like you would say it like literally like 5 words later, or, like
Oh,
5 sentences later. Like
yeah.
when I said planning, I wrote down planning, and then you said, "Oh, like you're good with like making a plan," and I was
Mhm.
like, "That's so funny." And then I wrote lean on strategy, and then you said something about leaning on, the things that I'm like more passionate about, and
Yeah.
so I'm like, "That's funny."
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm very glad this was helpful for you.
Very cool. Yeah. How long have you been doing this?
It would be boy, it's gonna be 4 years in May.
Okay, wow, amazing,
Yeah,
congratulations.
thank you. Yeah, that flew by too, I'll tell you that.
That's so yeah,
Yeah,
that's awesome. That's super helpful, yeah.
yeah.
Definitely something that I would love to add to my, well, I don't know what you call it, but, like, eventually kinda have, like, some sort of, like, coach, you
Mhm.
know? I think it's so helpful, and I know, like, a lot of, like, business owners and they always say, like, a lot of successful people, like, they have, like, lots of different coaches and mentors, and I think there's so much value in that, and hopefully one day in the near future, I'll be in a position where I can have that support too, because it's hard being a business owner, you know, and because you're it's a very lonely thing sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like as a freelancer, like I don't have employees or, you know, like I don't have like a big community of other people that do this as well. Like I just haven't met them.
Yeah.
So if anybody's watching this recording and they're a social media manager and they want to hang out, let me know.
Yes, no, definitely. Yeah, and but it's great you found that one that you just
Yeah.
joined. That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
It was
Yeah.
super cool. Yes, this girl from New Zealand, and I've been following her for a few years now. She has like a YouTube channel, and I've
Mhm.
been following her on social media, and yeah, she like has really good content, and you know, she's been doing this since like 2020 or 2019. And she has like a mentorship program. It's like a 12-month thing, and she has like a course that you can do, and then she has the community where you can literally post your packages or proposals, and she'll like audit them for you and send you feedback. So it's very supportive, which is really cool.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. And again, it's yeah, it's really so much less lonely when you find people you could at least talk to and they understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So
All right. But yes, it was great talking to you. Great meeting
yeah,
you.
you as well. Thank you so much for your time.
I really hope you enjoyed this episode. I want to do more of these coaching episodes. I feel like so many of us are going through very similar things now. So much is changing in the world of business and leadership, social media, marketing, all of it. And I want to bring some of these conversations to you because I think when we hear other people, what they're going through, we could learn a lot from them, but then also we feel a little less alone. So if you want to be coached on the podcast, free, I have a monthly Ask Me Anything office hours. It's the second Thursday of every month at 10 a.m. Pacific time, and I would love you to come. You could literally ask me anything that you're dealing with in business. If you want guidance on a direction to go, if you need help on understanding your purpose, or you're feeling a little drained lately and you want to understand why you feel so tired, I'll help you work through it, get you clarity so you can get back to where your genius is, what you really want to be doing. So if you want to come to that, I'll leave the link below. And if you have any questions about getting coached on the podcast, don't hesitate to reach out. I'm always available. Until next time, keep rebelling, keep rising.